So, you know, usually when a hero saves the world, the story just kind of ends.
Right, yeah, roll the credits.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
dragons are dead, the medals are handed out, the big sweeping orchestral music swells, and we just assume the resulting piece is permanent.
Right, happily ever after.
Yeah, but what actually happens to the grandchildren who inherit that pristine, saved world?
Oh, that is the real question.
Right. Like the ones who are expected to be these massive saviors before they even open their eyes.
That's so much pressure.
It really is. They're handed this massive legacy that they didn't even earn,
Hmm.
along with the suffocating expectation that they have to perfectly maintain it.
Yeah, I mean, it is the absolute definition of a poison chalice.
Oh, totally.
You're essentially trapped in this gilded cage, and it's built entirely out of the triumphs of your
Yeah,
ancestors.
which is just unfair.
Right, because the hero's journey is already completed by someone else. So that leaves the descendants to navigate a landscape where literally any deviation from that established greatness is viewed as a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, and that brings us to today's focus. So for you listening, in our previous two deep dives, we explored the foundational sources, like the prophecies begin arc.
Right, tracking Firestar, saving the forest.
Exactly, saving it from bloodthirsty tyrants. And then we trek through the perilous, starving migrations of the new prophecy.
Which was brutal.
It was. We watched these societies fight tangible external threats. You know, bulldozers tearing up their homes, starvation, rival
Yeah,
territory.
very macro survival stuff.
Right. We're super familiar with the external struggles of survival in this universe. But the third arc of the Warriors universe, Power of Three, it completely abandons that formula.
It really does. It takes a hard left turn.
A huge left turn. We are plunging straight into a psychological thriller that's just like masquerading as a feral cat adventure.
That is the perfect way to describe it.
Okay, let's unpack this because it's this intricate web of identity crises and crushing expectations and hidden lineages.
Yeah, the shift in focus is just profound here. We're moving away from the macro survival of the group to the micro destruction of the individual.
Wow, yeah. Microdestruction.
Right, because the mission of our deep dive today is to explore what happens when the survival of entire societies rests squarely on the shoulders of the next generation.
The grandchildren.
Exactly. We are going to examine how deep unspoken secrets can rot a community entirely from the inside out, long before any physical enemy breaches the camp walls.
And it all really kicks off with this massive looming core premise, like this prophecy delivered directly to Firestar.
Oh, the prophecy, yeah.
Yeah, quote, "There will be three, kin of your kin, who hold the power of the stars in their paws."
It gives you chills.
It does, and that single sentence just dictates the entire trajectory of three lives.
Right, and just consider the sheer weight of that phrasing for a second.
Right.
The power of the slayers in their paws, I mean, it implies a level of omnipotence and responsibility that goes way, way beyond the normal warrior code.
It sets a completely impossible bar.
Exactly. These characters haven't even taken their first steps out of the nursery, and yet they are already burdened with this cosmic mandate to uphold the fabric of their reality.
Which is just wild to think about.
Yeah.
And so we meet these chosen ones at the start of the first source book here at the site.
Right.
We have Lion Kit, Holly Kit, and Jay Kit. They're born in ThunderClan, and they are supposedly the offspring of Squirrel Flight and Brambleclaw.
Supposedly being the operative word.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Mm.
But since Squirrel Flight is Firestar's daughter, these three fit the prophecy perfectly.
Right. On paper, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, so the narrative sets us up to watch them slide smoothly into these predestined heroic roles. But almost immediately, the story just violently subverts those expectations.
It pulls the rug right out from under them.
It really does. The clash between their personal ambitions and what the universe seemingly demands of them is brutal.
Yeah, we see this identity reversal play out right away in their apprenticeships.
Right, when they start training.
Exactly. The clan infrastructure is built on matching a young cap's natural aptitudes with a mentor who can refine those specific skills.
Makes sense, yeah.
But for the three, that system utterly fails because the prophecy supersedes natural aptitude.
Yes. Take Holly Paw, for example.
Mm.
I mean, her obsession with the rules is a core part of her identity.
She is a rule follower to the extreme.
Oh, totally. And she desperately wants the status and like the profound reverence associated with being a medicine cat.
Right, she wants the prestige.
Yeah. But when she actually begins training under Leafpool, she absolutely hates it.
Oh, she can't stand it.
She cannot handle the gruesome, visceral reality of the injuries, And she really struggles with the herb memorization.
Yeah, she wants the aesthetic and the authority of the role, but definitely not the grinding, unglamorous reality of the work itself.
Exactly. And that realization forces her to pivot to warrior training, abandoning her initial dream.
Well, and that pivot is a deeply relatable human experience.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we often romanticize certain careers based on their societal prestige without really understanding the daily mechanics required to succeed in them.
Like wanting to be a lawyer because you like arguing, but hating paperwork.
Exactly. Holly Paw's failure in the medicine den is her first major confrontation with the fact that her desires do not perfectly align with reality.
Yeah, it's a harsh wake-up call.
It is. But her struggle is really just a subtle prelude to the much more traumatic reversal forced upon her brother, J-Paw.
Oh, J-Paw's situation is just infuriating.
It's so tough to read.
Like, he was born blind, but he is fiercely independent and incredibly perceptive.
So perceptive.
And he wants nothing more than to be a warrior. He wants to fight, hunt, and defend his clan just like his grandfather.
Which is a totally normal ambition for a kid in this society.
Right. And initially, the clan tries to accommodate this.
Yeah, they do try.
Apprenticing him to Brightheart is a seemingly progressive move, given her own history of adapting to a severe visual impairment after that horrible dog attack.
Right, the logic there is very sound on a practical level.
That makes perfect sense.
Brightheart knows exactly how to navigate physical combat and spatial awareness with a sensory deficit.
Right.
But the practical approach completely ignores the supernatural reality of J-Paw's existence.
Yeah, the magic gets in the way.
Exactly. Leafpool realizes that J-Paw possesses the staggering ability to literally walk into the dreams of others.
Which is terrifying and cool.
Very much both. He can read their thoughts, and he can access the spiritual plane in a way no normal cat ever could.
Right.
So his spiritual giftedness makes his physical training totally irrelevant in the eyes of the clan leadership.
So Leafpool forces him into the medicine cat role.
Against his will.
Totally against his will.
Right.
She basically tells him his physical ambitions are pointless because his destiny is to be this spiritual conduit.
Which breeds massive resentment.
Oh, huge resentment.
Yep.
Reminds me of like a kid who desperately wants to be a star athlete.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right. They have the drive, the heart, but they suffer a physical limitation that makes a light competition dangerously hard.
Yeah, physically impossible.
But simultaneously, they test with an off-the-charts IQ.
Right.
So the family sits them down and dictates, hey, you are going to be an academic researcher because you are a genius, and that is how you provide the most value.
And the kid just hates it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The resentment that breeds is monumental. J-Paw doesn't want to be the emotional sponge for everyone's secrets. He feels utterly manipulated.
Yeah, his autonomy is completely stripped away.
Completely.
He is drafted into a vocation he resents because his utility to the community outweighs his personal happiness.
It's so unfair.
It is, and it forces us to question the underlying ethics of the spirit ancestors in this universe.
Okay, yes. That is the exact pushback I have against the entire premise.
The StarClan issue.
Yes. The spirit ancestors are actively dangling this prophecy, granting immense telepathic power, and essentially trapping a young cat in a role he despises. They are stripping away his free will just to fulfill some cosmic checklist. It feels like a dictatorship from beyond the grave.
Well, from J-Paw's perspective, it is absolutely a cruel dictatorship.
For sure.
However, if we look at the underlying mechanism here, the narrative is really wrestling with the theme of adaptation versus ambition.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
So true power, especially in a community-centric society like the clans, often requires recognizing where your unique traits best serve the collective.
Even if it sucks for you personally.
Exactly, even when it demands the sacrifice of your childhood dreams. J-Paw's journey is grueling because he must eventually realize his blindness isn't some cosmic punishment.
Right, it's a trade-off.
Yes, it's the physical trade-off required for his unmatched spiritual sight. But, achieving that acceptance requires him to process an immense amount of bitterness.
Oh, a ton of bitterness.
Mhm.
And when you force a powerful, capable individual onto a path they resent, they inevitably seek an outlet to regain a sense of control.
They always do.
Always. J-Paw turns his focus inward and backward, seeking knowledge in the stars and the deep history of the world.
Right.
But his brother, Lionpaw, looks for control in much darker places.
Yeah, Lionpaw has a very different coping mechanism.
Very different. While J-Paw carries the burden of spiritual destiny, Lionpaw is suffocating under the weight of sheer physical power and unadulterated teenage rebellion.
Oh, the teenage angst is so real with him.
It's so real.
Lionpaw's physical prowess is unmatched, but he lacks a healthy outlet for his emotional restlessness.
Right.
And that restless energy drives him to seek out a space entirely disconnected from the expectations of his clan.
Yeah, he needs an escape.
And he finds that space beneath the earth.
Which brings us to the events of Dark River and Outcast. The discovery of this massive ancient tunnel system running underneath the territories introduces this brilliant physical manifestation of their psychological states.
The underground is a metaphor. I love it.
Exactly. The underground world becomes the stage for the parallel secret lives of the brothers.
Right.
Lionpaw starts sneaking into these tunnels at night for forbidden romance with a windclan apprentice, Heatherpaw.
Star-crossed lovers.
Total Romeo and Juliet vibes. They play at being in their own secret clan, completely isolated from the rivalries and rules of the surface. It is pure, intoxicating escapism.
But that escapism carries a severe toll in the waking world.
A massive toll.
Because the exhaustion from his nocturnal activities bleeds into his daytime training.
Yeah, he's so tired.
And Ashfur, his mentor, is unyielding.
He is the worst mentor for him.
He really is. He berates Lionpaw, constantly questioning his dedication and leaving him feeling completely inadequate.
Right.
Lionpaw knows he possesses this immense prophesied power, yet he is constantly made to feel weak and undisciplined by his mentor.
Yeah, the vulnerability there is perfectly primed for exploitation.
Oh, it's classic setup.
Lionpaw needs agency. He needs validation that his strength actually means something. And right on cue, the spirits of Tigerstar and Hawkfrost reach out to him in his dreams.
The historical villains.
The ultimate bad guys.
Okay.
They offer to train him in the Dark Forest, and he accepts. He starts secretly training in Cat Hell with historical dictators.
It's wild.
It is wild, and it begs the question, why do manipulative dark figures so consistently succeed as mentors to struggling heroes?
Because it works.
Right. Tigerstar's combat training actually works. Lionpaw starts impressing Ashfur in the waking world.
Yeah, the sociological parallel to radicalization here is chillingly accurate.
Oh, wow.
Manipulative figures succeed because they offer simple, ruthless solutions to complex emotional problems.
That's so true.
Tigerstar identifies Lionpaw's core grievance, that he is powerful but unappreciated, and he just validates it completely.
He tells him exactly what he wants to hear.
Exactly. He doesn't lecture Lionpaw about diplomacy or the nuance of the warrior code.
No, not at all.
He tells him, you are superior and your clanmates are holding you back. Tigerstar provides an environment where the restrictive rules of the waking world simply do not apply. He isolates Lionpaw by making him feel like only the Dark Forest truly understands his potential.
It's textbook grooming.
It absolutely is textbook grooming.
And Lionpaw is drawn to that militant strength because it imposes order on his chaotic life.
Right.
Meanwhile, J-Paw is exploring the exact same underground tunnels, but he unearths an existential dread rather than a combat instructor.
A very different kind of secret.
Very. He discovers an ancient scratching stick belonging to Rock.
Rock.
Yeah, this hairless ancient spirit cat. And through this connection, J-Paw learns about the ancients and the tragic story of fallen leaves.
I was drowned in those tunnels.
Right, generations before the current clans were even a concept.
Yeah, the introduction of the ancients completely recontextualizes the lore of the entire universe.
It breaks everything wide open.
It does. The clans operate under the assumption that their history, their borders, their warrior code, their ancestors, is the definitive reality of the lake.
That they are the center of the universe.
Exactly. And J-Paw's interactions with Rock shatter that illusion.
Yeah.
He realizes that their civilization is just a recent blip layered over the bones of forgotten societies.
A drop in the bucket.
Right. It makes the constant bloody border skirmishes above ground seem pathetically insignificant.
It fundamentally shrinks the importance of the clans.
Oh, absolutely.
J-Paw is looking at the ghosts of the past and realizing how trivial their current political squabbles are.
Right.
But the tragic irony is that while he's looking backward, a very real living threat is about to weaponize those exact same territorial squabbles to tear the clans apart from the inside.
Yeah, things are about to get really bad above ground.
Very bad. Which brings us to the book Eclipse.
Oh man, Eclipse!
Yeah, the political tension that's been simmering in the background finally reaches a boiling point.
It boils over.
It totally boils over. The resource scarcity and paranoia culminate in riverclan and windclan, using those secret tunnels to launch a massive, coordinated surprise attack directly into the heart of thunderclan.
And the battle is absolute chaos.
Complete chaos.
The camp is overrun, the fighting is brutal and desperate.
Yeah.
And then, at the height of the bloodshed, the sky goes completely dark.
Just boom. Darkness.
The sun vanishes in the middle of the day. A total solar eclipse.
Which is insane for them.
Right. The fighting just stops. The sheer panic of feral cats watching the sun disappear is visceral.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
But the true danger isn't the astronomical event itself.
Yeah.
The danger is the lone cat who arrived just before the battle to announce that the sun was going to vanish.
Sol. Yes, enter Sol. Here's where it gets really interesting.
He is fascinating.
He's so fascinating. Yeah. Because Sol operates entirely outside the established archetype of a warrior's antagonist.
Yeah, he's a totally different breed of villain.
Right. He isn't a physically imposing warlord like Tiger Star or Scourge. He is an outsider, a loner, who wields pure psychological warfare.
He's a manipulator.
Exactly. By predicting the eclipse, he instantly manufactures this aura of untouchable divine authority.
Yeah, he is a masterclass in manipulation.
A total masterclass.
Saul doesn't use his claws to dismantle a clan. He uses an astronomical coincidence.
Yeah, right place, right time, right knowledge.
Exactly. He targets Blackstar, the leader of shadowclan, recognizing a pre-existing vulnerability.
Right. Blackstar's already stressed out.
Very much so. Blackstar is already exhausted by the constant warfare and the seemingly arbitrary demands of StarClan.
Yeah, he's burnt out.
So Saul leverages the sheer existential terror of the eclipse to completely break the foundational religious and societal beliefs of ShadowClan.
It's terrifying. I compare Saul to, like, a charismatic cult leader or a slick modern-day grifter.
Oh, that's a perfect comparison.
Right. He just walks into a vulnerable community and convinces them to burn down their own institution.
And it works.
It totally works. Blackstar renounces StarClan entirely. He stops the border patrols, he abandons the traditions, and he just allows his clan to fall into this apathetic, cult-like stupor under Saul's guidance.
It's so unsettling to read.
It really is. The fragility of their faith is terrifying. Hundreds of moons of tradition are discarded because of a few minutes of darkness and a silver-tongued opportunist.
Well, we really have to look at the mechanics of how a society without scientific literacy processes an event like an eclipse.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea what astronomy is.
Exactly. Their entire belief system is predicated on the idea that their ancestors control the natural order.
Right.
So when the sun disappears, an event their ancestors neither predicted nor prevented, it creates a massive ontological void.
The normal has collapsed.
Yes, the normal has entirely collapsed. Saul steps directly into that void with an alternative narrative.
And what does he tell them?
He effectively argues that since StarClan could not stop the sun from vanishing, their authority is a lie. Right. He offers nihilism as a form of relief from the burdensome traditions of the warrior code.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It serves as a stark commentary on the fragility of institutions in general.
Oh, deeply.
Like, a society's belief system remains stable only as long as it can adequately explain the phenomena around it.
Precisely.
Once a crisis occurs that the prevailing ideology cannot account for, panic ensues.
Yeah.
And that creates the perfect environment for a charismatic leader to dismantle the existing power structure with nothing more than rhetoric and confidence.
And the irony layered into the resolution of this crisis is just brilliant.
The fake sign.
Yes, because by this point, Lionpaw, Jaypaw, and Hollypaw have earned their adult names.
Right. Lionblaze, Jayfeather, and Hollyleaf.
Exactly. And these three possess genuine prophecy-ordained magic.
Real magic.
Real magic. Yet, to fix the mess Saul created, they cannot rely on their real powers.
Which is so funny to me.
It is. They are forced to manufacture a fake sign from StarClan.
Literally arts and crafts time.
Basically. They use shadows to project the image of a tiger and a star into the ShadowClan camp, literally scaring Blackstar back into his traditional faith.
So using Saul's own tactics of theatrical manipulation against him.
Right. It is a profound structural irony.
Oh, completely.
The chosen ones must resort to a parlor trick to restore social order. It implies that for the broader community, the comforting structure of belief is far more critical than the objective truth behind it.
They just need to feel safe again.
Exactly. They don't defeat Saul with divine intervention. They defeat him with better stagecraft.
They out-con the con man.
Yes, they do.
And they managed to drive Saul out, patching the political fractures between the clans. But, external manipulation pales in comparison to the destructive force that is about to rip through ThunderClan itself.
Oh, this next part is rough.
It is. The true threat doesn't arrive as a solar eclipse or an invading army. It starts with a simple spark during a thunderstorm.
The climax of Long Shadows.
Yes, leading to the climax of the entire arc,
The fire scene.
the trial by fire.
Yeah, the fire scene is the crucible where the internal rot we've been discussing finally bursts into the open.
Like a ruptured abscess.
Gross, but accurate. It forces every simmering resentment and hidden truth into a single, inescapable choke point.
And the sensory details of this sequence are literally seared into the narrative.
The writers did an amazing job here.
They really did. A massive thunderstorm rolls in, lightning strikes, and suddenly the forest is a roaring inferno.
Just absolute panic.
The heat is suffocating, the smoke is blinding, and in the sheer chaos of the evacuation, Squirrel Flight, Lion Blaze, Hollyleaf, and Jayfeather are cut off from the main clan.
They're trapped.
They are backed against a literal wall of flames. Their only avenue of escape is a single burning branch spanning a massive drop.
Right.
And standing in the middle of that branch, deliberately blocking their path, is Ashfur.
We really must analyze Ashfur's psychology here to understand the gravity of this standoff.
Oh, please do, because he is unhinged.
He is, because his actions are not driven by a recent slight or political disagreement. This is the culmination of years of festering, unrequited love that curdled into a toxic, weaponized entitlement.
Yeah. Yes.
Squirrel Flight chose Brambleclaw over him years ago, and Ashfur never processed that rejection.
He just let it stew.
He allowed it to rot his core, convincing himself that he was the victim of a profound injustice that required balancing.
He is the ultimate portrait of toxic entitlement.
Exactly.
He stands there with the forest burning around them, and he articulates his motive with chilling clarity.
He lays it all out.
He tells Squirrel Flight he doesn't want to kill her, because simply dying wouldn't inflict enough pain.
Which is so messed up.
So messed up. He wants to balance the scales of suffering. He intends to watch her children burn to death in front of her so she can experience the exact depth of agony he felt when she rejected him.
Yeah.
He is preparing to commit triple homicide against his own clanmates purely to punish a woman for revoking his access to her.
It is deeply disturbing. He forces Squirrel Flight into a horrific variation of the trolley problem.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right. On one track, she remains silent, protecting the grand lie of their parentage, but condemning her 3 children to immolate.
Yeah, they burn.
On the other track, she detonates the secret, saving their physical lives, but entirely obliterating their psychological reality.
And destroying the social fabric of her family.
Exactly. The sheer pressure of Ashfur's entitlement leaves her with no currency to buy their lives other than the absolute truth.
She has to pay with the truth.
Right.
And she makes the calculation in a split second. She stares Ashfur down through the smoke and delivers the line that shatters the entire series.
I remember reading this for the first time.
Quote, "Kill them then. You won't hurt me that way because they are not my kits."
Boom.
Boom. The immediate psychological fallout for Lion Blaze, Hollyleaf, and Jayfeather in that moment is just incomprehensible.
Ooh, devastating.
Like, imagine standing on that burning branch, you're choking on hash, terrified of the flames, and the mother who raised you.
The only mother you've ever known?
Right. The cat whose bloodline anchors your entire identity and validates your connection to a cosmic prophecy casually leverages your adoption to manipulate a murderer.
Yeah, their foundation crumbles while they are still literally fighting for their lives.
Everything you know about who you are, why you have powers, what your place is in the world, it evaporates instantly.
Because the prophecy specifically states they must be the kin of your kin.
Descendants of Firestar.
Right. If Squirrel Flight is not their mother, their connection to Firestar is seemingly severed.
Right.
Are they even the chosen ones? Is their magic a cosmic mistake? The lie unravels the very fabric of their existence.
And the sheer shock of the revelation paralyzes Ashfur.
It totally short-circuits his brain.
It does. His intricate revenge plot falls apart because the targets no longer hold the emotional weight he assumed they did.
Right. The hostage loses its value.
Exactly. So he allows them to cross the branch, but he promises to expose the lie to all 4 clans at the upcoming gathering.
He's still going to ruin her life, just a different way.
Yep. He intends to publicly humiliate Squirrel Flight and destroy her relationship with Brambleclaw.
Yeah.
The immediate danger of the fire passes, but Ashfur becomes a walking detonator.
A ticking time bomb.
But before the gathering can take place, Ashfur's murdered body is discovered floating in the stream.
Which brings us to the book Sunrise.
Yes, the shattering.
Right, because a secret maintained for years under the guise of protection inevitably breeds catastrophe.
Always.
The lie led to extortion, near immolation, and finally premeditated murder.
Right.
The physical fire was extinguished, but someone decided to permanently extinguish Ashfur before he could spark the social inferno.
And the hunt for Ashfur's killer just dominates this final segment of the arc.
It's a full-on murder mystery now.
It is, and the clan immediately defaults to the easiest, most convenient scapegoat, Saul.
Of course they do.
Naturally, he had recently been driven out, he had motive for revenge, and most importantly, he's an outsider.
Yeah, it is always easier for a community to blame an external threat than to confront the possibility of rot within their own ranks.
Oh, 100%. So a patrol tracks Saul down to a human town, capturing him alongside this eccentric old loner named Purdy.
I love her.
Purdy is great.
Yeah.
And they drag Saul back to face justice.
But while the clan leadership is entirely distracted by interrogating Saul, Jayfeather utilizes his unique abilities to conduct a covert, parallel investigation.
Detective Jayfeather is on the case.
Yes. And he doesn't rely on physical tracking. He pieces together fragments of spiritual insight and behavioral anomalies.
His detective work is phenomenal here.
It really is.
He receives a cryptic sign from the spirit of Yellowfang.
Right.
He has a seemingly innocuous conversation with Little Cloud, the shadowclan medicine cat, who mentions the herb parsley.
Which is key.
Very key. Parsley is a specific plant used to stop a queen's milk from coming in.
Right.
So Jayfeather takes these isolated data points and forces them together. Who in ThunderClan had a secret to hide around the time they were born? Who had unrestricted access to parsley? Who had the motive to orchestrate an elaborate fake pregnancy?
The deduction leads to a conclusion so scandalous it threatens to tear the clan apart.
Oh, it's the biggest scandal ever.
Their biological mother is Leafpool, the medicine cat.
Which is illegal.
Highly illegal in their culture. The realization is devastating because medicine cats are strictly forbidden from taking mates or bearing kits. It is a fundamental tenet of their society.
And the father makes it infinitely worse.
It's so much worse.
Jayfeather deduces that it's Crowfeather, a warrior from windclan.
So they aren't just the illegitimate offspring of a medicine cat.
They are half-clan.
Right.
Their very physical existence is a walking, breathing violation of multiple core laws of the warrior code.
And this specific revelation triggers a catastrophic psychological break in Hollyleaf.
Oh, Hollyleaf. Poor Hollyleaf.
We really must revisit her earlier characterization.
Right, the rule follower.
Exactly. Her entire moral compass, her sense of self-worth, was inextricably tied to her rigid adherence to the warrior code.
The code was her everything.
The code was her anchor, especially since she struggled to find her place compared to her brother's obvious magical talents.
Right.
So when she realizes her birth is the ultimate transgression of the laws she worships, she cannot process the cognitive dissonance.
I mean, it's just a total brain breaker for her,
A
right?
total brain breaker.
Yeah.
Jayfeather and Lionblaze are horrified, sure, but they attempt to compartmentalize the trauma.
Right, they try to deal with it.
Hollyleaf's worldview is entirely black and white. There is no room for the gray area of her own existence. Her reality fractures, and this leads to the most shocking reveal of all.
Oh, yes. Saul didn't kill Ashfur.
No, he didn't.
Hollyleaf did.
The mental gymnastics required for Hollyleaf to justify that murder are absolutely fascinating.
Fascinating and terrifying.
Right. She views Ashfur not just as a threat to her family's reputation, but as a threat to the perceived integrity of the warrior code itself.
Right, she has to protect this system.
Exactly. She commits the ultimate violation, murdering a clanmate in cold blood to prevent the public exposure of her parents' rule-breaking.
The hypocrisy is staggering.
A dogmatism completely overrides her morality.
She murders someone to protect an ideology that her very existence corrupts.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean? It perfectly illustrates the danger of rigid dogmatism.
It really does.
When an abstract set of rules becomes more sacred than the actual lives of the individuals living under them, violence is the inevitable result.
Yeah, she couldn't reconcile the paradox of her life, so she violently attempted to suppress the anomaly.
Right.
But eliminating Ashfur doesn't cure the rot, it just redirects her fury toward the source of the transgression.
Which is Leafpool.
Her confrontation with Leafpool in the medicine den is a horrific display of a broken mind.
It is so dark.
It is. Hollyleaf attempts to act as the executioner for the warrior code. She corners her own mother and tries to force her to consume lethal death berries.
Which is just, wow.
And Leafpool's response is a masterclass in defeated resignation.
Yeah, she doesn't even fight back.
No. She refuses the berries, but she states that surviving with the knowledge of everything she has lost and the monsters her children have become is a far more agonizing punishment than death.
That is heavy.
Very heavy.
Hollyleaf spares her, but her internal pressure cooker finally explodes.
She can't hold it in anymore.
The guilt of the murder, combined with the total collapse of her identity, drives her completely mad.
Yeah.
The very secret she murdered Ashford to conceal. She takes it to the gathering, the public assembly of all 4 clans, and screams the truth for everyone to hear.
She exposes everything.
She exposes Leafpool and Crowfeather in front of the entire lake.
The destruction is absolute.
Totally absolute.
Brambleclaw, who genuinely believed he was their father, is entirely broken by Squirrelflight's long-term deception.
Yeah, he dumps her right there.
He publicly severs their relationship. Leafpool is immediately stripped of her sacred position as medicine cat.
Right.
The trust that held ThunderClan together is shredded in a matter of minutes.
And unable to endure the devastation she orchestrated, Hollyleaf just flees the gathering.
She runs away.
She runs blindly into the ancient tunnel system, and as she vanishes into the dark, the entrance violently collapses behind her.
She's buried alive.
Yeah, she is buried under the earth, presumed dead, crushed by the weight of the secrets she tried so desperately to navigate.
Well, the irony is suffocating.
Oh, for sure.
The tunnels that once served as an escape for her brothers become her tomb.
Right.
The true casualty of this entire arc is not Ashfur's life, but the fundamental innocence and trust of the younger generation.
Right.
The adults constructed a labyrinth of lies to protect them, and that labyrinth ultimately consumed them.
It's so tragic. Now, before we move to the final twist, I want to highlight an incredible piece of behind-the-scenes trivia from author Vicky.
Oh, I love this trivia.
It's so good. So, during the outlining process, the writing team easily assigned telepathy to Jayfeather and invincibility to Lionblaze.
Right, their magic powers.
Right. But they agonized over what superpower to give Hollyleaf.
They couldn't figure it out.
No. Eventually, they realized that the most compelling narrative choice was to give her absolutely nothing.
Which is a stroke of narrative brilliance.
It really is.
By making her the only sibling without a power, her rigid obsession with the rules becomes a tragic coping mechanism.
She's compensating.
She was desperately overcompensating. She was trying to adhere to the code to prove she belonged in a prophecy that fundamentally excluded her.
Yeah.
Her lack of power was the catalyst for her eventual mental collapse.
So with Hollyleaf presumed dead, Jayfeather and Lionblaze are left standing in the smoldering wreckage of their family.
Just the two of them.
But Jayfeather reevaluates the wording of the original prophecy.
He remembers the exact phrasing.
Quote, "There will be 3 kin of your kin." Well, Leafpool is Firestar's daughter.
Right.
Therefore, Jayfeather and Lionblaze are indeed his blood kin.
The prophecy is still active.
It is. But if Hollyleaf was never the 3rd cat, who is?
The realization dawns on them that the prophecy was never restricted to a single litter.
Oh, wow.
The true 3rd cat is still waiting to be discovered.
Right in front of them.
Exactly. They turn their attention to the nursery, observing the newly born kits of Whitewing, Dovekit, and Ivykit.
Here we go again.
Right. The crushing cycle of cosmic expectation is preparing to begin all over again for a completely new generation.
What a phenomenal place to leave the narrative.
It's quite the cliffhanger.
We have unpacked a staggering amount of psychological complexity today. The power of 3 arc completely redefines the Warriors universe.
It really does.
It transitions the series away from battling badgers and rival clans, proving that the most lethal threats to a society are never external.
No, the true monsters are internal.
Yeah.
They are the hidden truths we bury to protect our image, the toxic grievances we allow to fester like Ashfur's entitlement,
Right.
and the unyielding dogmatic ideologies that drive individuals like Hollyleaf to commit unspeakable acts in the name of purity.
And despite the fantastical setting of, telepathic feral cats, the emotional core here is intimately human.
Deeply human.
Right. I mean, you listening, we all navigate the crushing weight of expectations.
Absolutely.
We understand the resentment of being forced down a path we didn't choose, much like Jayfeather.
Right.
We feel the allure of embracing our anger to regain control, like Lionblaze.
Yeah.
And we recognize the terrifying disorientation when our fundamental understanding of reality is proven false, just like Hollyleaf.
These are profoundly universal struggles masked in a story about wilderness survival.
They really are.
It forces us to examine our own legacies. It asks us to question the secrets we maintain under the guise of protecting our loved ones.
Right.
And whether that protection is actually just a slow-acting poison that will eventually destroy them.
As we wrap up this intensely detailed exploration of the sources, I want to leave you with one final, deeply unsettling thought to mull over.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
It's wild to think about. If the prophecy explicitly dictated that 3 specific cats would hold the power of the stars,
Right.
and StarClan knew from the very beginning that Leafpool's kits were the chosen ones,
Yeah.
does that mean the spirit ancestors intentionally engineered this entire catastrophe?
It's a huge question.
Did they deliberately orchestrate a forbidden romance, knowing it would shatter the warrior code?
Right.
Did they manipulate squirrel flight into a web of lies and weaponize Ashfur's broken heart just to produce the saviors they required for a future conflict?
It is a chilling line of inquiry.
Very chilling.
It forces us to reevaluate the very nature of destiny within this universe.
Yeah.
Are the ancestors acting as benevolent, guiding spirits, or are they ruthless puppet masters willing to decimate an entire family structure simply to win a cosmic chess match?
Think about that the next time you look up at the night sky. Thank you for joining us as we unpack the shadows behind the stars. Keep pondering the dangerous line between grand destiny and grand manipulation until our next deep dive.